Welcome everyone to the SERL Domino's Pizza Truck Series Season 2 Race 9 at Kansas Speedway, where we have 37 trucks ready to take on this 1.5 mile D-shaped oval, where a season ago, when we were here for Season 1 Race 9, it was a fairly calm race. I believe only one caution, and that came a couple laps after the start of the race, and I don't remember that crash taking out a lot of drivers, and thus not, I would say, a lot of DNFs. In fact, maybe there wasn't any DNFs at all. I don't know. I'm trying to recite this from memory, and that race happened to be won by Zachary Wilbord. Now he's not in this series, but I'm sure maybe he's watching on, and I feel like that. I think we could see the same recipe today, uh, where we where we might just have one caution early and then we go green the rest of the way. It would honestly shock me if we saw maybe even like 2 to 3 cautions and more. And I feel like that so far this season in this series, I think we've seen our mix of new winners and repeat winners. Our two repeat winners are Luke Walker and Lion Mills Jr., which are first and fourth in points. Actually, the top four in points all have wins. Luke Walker, last week's winner at Ricky Johnny Worth, Connor Breeden, the Lime Rock winner, and Lion Mills Jr. That's your top four. And then just to, I guess, this is the perfect time to round off the top 10 points. Mason Jefferson, Matt Hotchkiss, Cleb Crafton, Garrett Sinor, Ian Saunders, and Peyton Keys. That is your top 10 points. And I think this is pretty much now like the moment in the season where we really get to see like who's going to be in this championship hunt or who will most likely be in this championship hunt, because after this weekend, one third of the season will be completed. And I think a good run from one of our top drivers in points, or maybe even a driver that could maybe have a lot of momentum, who we've not really talked about this season after this race. This is where I think we will pretty much officially announce who's going to be, or who's most likely going to be, our championship contenders. But anyway, that's pretty much all I really have to say. So now let's get these trucks rolling off. Um, that's a little strange. Okay, I guess I never really noticed about how some of these drivers that will start on the inside actually duck out of line for a little bit. That's a little strange. But anyway, here is our starting lineup. So, top 10, Bruno Ketchuk, Justin DeLampos, Connor Breeden, Riley Smith, Ben Braley, Crafton, William Bedford, Lion Mills Jr., Jimmy Johns, Kenny Hamlin. That is your top 10. Some of these drivers in the past 2 weeks have started to finally get some momentum on their side. And we have a pretty I pretty much think that a lot of our other drivers that are high up in points are just scattered throughout the field. So that I think that we could be in for a surprising race, but maybe not exactly in the ways that we've seen surprising races so far this season. But anyway, Brian Ketchuk in his first career pole leads us to the green flag at Kansas, and he gets a great start. And Connor is going to be right there to pounce. We normally don't see a whole lot of passing here at Kansas just because the service is newly repaved, so there's just drivers are still trying to mostly find uh, where the fastest part is, and you don't want to take too many chances very early because you can just get yourself into trouble. But Brian Ketchuk, the rookie, is doing a great job right here to block both lanes, Connor Breeden and Ben Braley. But right behind Ben Braley is the 54 of Biff Crafton, and now Brian Ketchuk will lead this first lap. And now here comes Ben Braley right here, as they're not going to split them right here. Oh my goodness, 3 wide right here. Connor Breeden goes to the way outside. William Bedford and Bill Crafton will now go up to the front. As now, all of a sudden, we are now starting to see more 2 and 3 wide throughout the whole entire field here. And Connor Breeden continues to fall back. The outside line is just not your friend at this racetrack. And all of a sudden, here on the bottom, we are now starting to see like LJ Mills here get up to the front. Oh my goodness, him and Jamie Johns actually made some contact right there. Oh, wow, that could have been disastrous. So I believe Rowan Ketchuk led the first lap, and then maybe it was Ben Braley. No way, it wasn't Ben Braley. It was actually William Bedford. So now William Bedford goes up to the front, and William Bedford right here, I think he's had some races where they were pretty good, but then the finish was not the finish that he finished is over here. Oh my gosh, here. Oh my! Garrettson and I'm gonna make contact here, but as the field is hugely separated, we have a crash. Oh my gosh, this crash is separated here. Daniel Wilson is way far behind. Matt Hotchkiss with a lot of damage. So is Hayden Jefferson, Dale Scott, Jacob Reed, Jim Kelly, Ian Saunders, and more most likely. Oh my god, and we have more crashing here, but right behind him, Connor Breen here on his lid. What? And he also gets hit by Cameron Gallatin in the one. Whoa, my goodness. So it looks like that we might have had maybe 3 different crashes. 2, and one of them came on the cooldown lap. You know, the lap after they raced back to the line. But let's take a look and just see what happened in what appears to be 3 different crashes. So I was right about separate crashes, but I did get at least one of them incorrect, and that was the Daniel Wills crash, or what I thought was a Daniel Wills crash. It turns out he actually had to come down pit road before they took the green flag, so that's why he was so far behind. But what initially caused the first caution here was this. So they were 4 wide. Garrett Sinner, Lion Mills Jr., Connor Brady, and Brock Hedgehog. When Lion Mills Jr. and Garrett Sinner are here, they just get a little too close to each other, and then they hook together. And while Garrett Sinner saves the car, Lion Mills Jr. also has Car on the high side right here, which then causes those 2 cars to touch right here. And it looked like that for a moment they might save the car, but they just didn't right here. And Lion Mills Jr. goes around, and Saunders just has nowhere to go. But right here, as I pause this, I think it's, yeah, there we go. What happened right here was that as these drivers were trying to avoid it right here, Dean also got some damage here. Payne Keys got into Dale Scott, which then went up into Jacob Reed, and that's where this crash started here. But then right here, look at this. Leia Walker are here, and Kyle Kaminsky gets together. Jim Kelly has nowhere to go. So that's what caused all 3 of these crashes are here. But now let's take a look and see what happened with Connor Breeden. Right here, there are multiple things going on. So LJ Mills is pinching Kenny Hamlin down, but also at the same time, you're going to see Garrett Sinner just go up the track just a little bit. And I think it was the combination of those 2 things that I think led to this happening here. Because after that happened here, Baba Yuna was just was just the unlucky driver right here. And then right here, you're going to see Justin Talamas here also gets some damage. But watch this here. When Connor Breen hits Justin Talamas, has nowhere to go. Luke Walker, the points leader, just hits Connor Breen right here. Club Crafton also gets some damage as well. So is Abe Troxel, and I think Mason Jefferson might have had received a piece of it. So that's everything that went down here at Kansas. Now let's go on board some drivers. I don't believe we've gone on board Kyle Kaminsky this season, so now let's take the opportunity to see what he saw avoiding the first 2 wrecks, but then not the final one that he eventually got caught up in. When he got on the apron, he was carrying way too much speed, so it caused him to go up into Leia Walker, it appeared. Out of all the drivers that avoided these pileups, Abe Troxel was one of the luckiest. Everyone out of the race, which is everyone that is marked not on the lead lap, is I think pretty much all of those drivers were drivers that I think you expected to see out, but for some of these drivers, they're gonna take major hits after already 1/3 of the season completed, or it will be 1/3 of the season after this race is done. But now, William Bedford, who I believe was in a similar position like this before on a restart, he will lead us back to the green flag at Kansas. Jimmy Johns, he got the better restart, but he goes high. Is he trying to do the crossover? Well, now it's too late to do that, because here now comes defending series champion Charles Bellman, who for being the defending series champion has really, he's just, number one, he's not made a whole lot of noise, but number 2, it's just been a dismal season. Oh wait, never mind. Oh my goodness, am I am I blind or something? When I look at the point standings, he's actually 13th in points, so he's actually having a pretty good season. But I think earlier he wasn't, so I think that's why I thought that. So with Charles Bowling being 13th in points, he could be maybe the surprise here. But now all of a sudden we have a new leader. It is now Garrett Sinor here. Charles Bowling led the last lap, but now here comes Garrett Sinor, and here comes Riley Smith in the 4. Riley Smith, it seems like that in these past 2 weeks, he has really been solving the issues they had before. But Garrett Sinor, he's just pulling away right now. No worries for him. And now here comes Kenny Hamlin, another driver that I felt like had a really rough first several weeks, but now in these past 2, just like Riley Smith has sort of gotten his groove back. Kendall Maynor in the 20, looking to he's been in these positions before of where he's up front, but it just feels like something happens to him. It causes him not to. Whoa, my goodness, behind them. Riley Smith in the 4 almost got clipped by Johnny Werf last winner at Ricky. Philip Goldberg in the 35, he's moving up here. When I think about his season, I just feel like that one of if not his most famous highlight was his crazy wreck in NASCAR. My goodness, I cannot talk tonight. But anyway, Garrett's not here. He has now led, I think, maybe a couple laps, I believe. And there doesn't seem to be too many words for him. But here comes Kenny Hamlin. It looks like he's going to reel him in. Mason Jefferson in the 98. He comes into this race 5th in points. And the way things are going right now, it looks like that he could be he would not be our points leader because Luke Walker has, in the past few weeks, has had a massive lead. So he won't be our points leader, but I think he'll definitely take a huge gain if he can finish right around this general area. But we still have a lot of racing left to go. But Garrett Sinor in the 29, he's had, even though he's been inside the top 10 points for several weeks now, if not every week. He's had finishes. He's had those races where it's like he could have finished a lot more better than what he did before whatever happened to him. Like when I think back to his season, I remember him having a really great day at Seattle, but then a later crash made him finish around 10th, where he could have finished 1st or 2nd. And I think there's been at least 1 or 2 more races that have been like that. But now all of a sudden we now have a battlefield leader here, and here comes Mason Jefferson in the 98. Can Garrett Sinor throw the block? He will throw the block right here. So Garrett Sinor, he will lead this lap, but Mason Jefferson, it looks like that he is. These two right here are actually now starting to pull away from the rest of the field now, as we now change our cameras. But I think, yep, I saw it coming. Here goes Mason Jefferson here for the lead underneath Garrett Sinor, and it looks like that he will hit. As we have now stayed green, I think that we could stay green for the rest of the race. But now all of a sudden, Kendall Maynor in the 20, he's looking to maybe take a second away from Garrett Sinor and then try challenging Mason Jefferson. Mason Jefferson, I think that there might have been a race, this season where I felt like that he could have won, but then something happened to him. But anyway, the first several cars appeared to, it appears to be the top 18 are all in this pack. But behind that, there are a couple of smaller packs, and mostly it's single file racing. We're not seeing a whole lot of as much 3 wide as we did, we saw on those first couple laps after the start. And I feel like that this will pretty much be the mood that we see in the American Ethanol Series and the Hot Wheels Cup Series. And as I said before, because of this newer surface, Kansas, it has just become a harder track to really I wouldn't say that it's become super hard to pass, but it's just that the groove has just not widened yet. But now all of a sudden, when it looked like Kendall Maynor might take a second away from Garrett Sinor, he's now just hanging back here in second. I think he's just waiting. I think he's just waiting to make a move, which I can see happening soon. Are they approaching any lap traffic? Yes, they will be. Cameron Garlington and Blaine Keys in the 88. Now, if you remember what happened last time there was lap traffic, 2 weeks ago at Nashville Super Speedway, we had this long green flag run, and then all of a sudden lap traffic right here, it took some contenders out of the race and resulting in a crash. But it looks like that we're going to catch these two, actually maybe in the next lap or so. As Mason Jefferson and Garrett Sinor, they've now pulled away from Kendall Maynor in the 20 just a little bit. How close are they? Yeah. the whole pack will be on these two in just a second, and depending on how they get, and depending on who gets around them right off the back is going to be who will be our winning contenders by the time, by the time the last, by the time we get to the last couple laps. But now we're just gonna look at this right here. They're going to the high side here. Mason Jefferson. Whoa, this is some interesting move. Garrett Sinner, he goes to the bottom, but here comes Kendall Maynor in the 20. What my guess here? Some very interesting decisions are here made by our leaders. But it looks like in the end, Garrett Sinner, he's going to be the victor, and Mason Jefferson, not so much here. Oh, I guess behind right here. Behind there here, Blaine Keys here, Mason Jefferson. Oh my goodness, no. Oh no, that's not gonna be good. Oh, yep, I saw it coming. Payne Keys here also gets collected. So that'll bring out another caution right here. I believe. Unless we somehow stay green. I think the caution's out. Is the caution out? Yep, the caution's out. So Garrett's not here. He will lead all of his caution laps, and when we go back racing, it'll just be a couple laps to go. But as I said, we pretty much saw the exact same thing happen at Nashville. When the leaders got to the lap traffic, some of the leaders went one way, the other leaders went the other way. And for Mason Jefferson, it did not pay off, going to the high side, which was a pretty interesting move. But I guess since it was in the middle of the corner, I guess it made sense, but still, I don't think I would have gone to the inside. I think I might have maybe had gotten them like loose. But let's just take a look and see what happened with Mason Jefferson and Blaine Keys, and look at the drivers who came pretty close, because there were some drivers that got some cosmetic damage in this. I don't blame Mason Jefferson for going to the bottom, just because, you know, he has a faster car trying to get around Blaine Keys, but he's also not trying to lose this pack right here. And unfortunately, it just did not pay off in time. He kind of rushed things right here because they went right down here, and Kenny Hamlin and William Bedford almost got collected. In fact, I think William Bedford might have hit the wall. But then here, Mason Jefferson gets his truck back rolling here. But then Payne Keys just hits the back end of Blaine Keys, his brother, and that right there is going to be that damage right here and all that smoke. It looks like that's going to be a tail sign of end of the day. But anyway, now let's go on board some drivers. William Bedford did hit the wall, and that impact, while he's most likely not going to have to go down the road, it's going to, I would say, definitely take him out of contention. Look at all of these positions that he lost. Blaine Keys is out of the race, but even though they are marked a lap down, it was because they were lapped, Cameron Garlington and Blaine Keys. But now, when I look at his top 10, I believe every driver on that list except Johnny Worth hasn't won a race. So it looks like that this is a pretty bit. So this race late in the going has really opened the doors for new winners. And Garrett Sinner right here, who has just been, I would say, the dominant driver of the day, will lead us back to the green flag. But I think he's in a sitting duck position. But can Kendall Maynor, because I think Kendall Maynor, Philip Goldberg, or Kenny Hamlin is going to do something. Unless we have another precaution, which it looks like right here. Well, look at this. Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. That's gonna hold a lot of drivers right here. Yeah, that's not good right here. But now, as I look up front here, it is now Garrett Sinner and Kendall Maynor. I think what Garrett Sinner wants to see right now is the caution. I don't think Garrett Sinner wants to see a driver even like challenge him, which we're gonna go back in front to Riley Smith. Oh yeah, there's a caution I was talking about here. It is now taking out several drivers. I had a feeling something was wrong, and Eric Almerhart is on his lid, so Eric Almerhart, another tough break for him. Oh my goodness. I had a feeling something was going to happen here with having Cameron Garlington here lap traffic. But unless something serious happens to Garrett Sinner, he will be your winner of this race. Garrett Sinner wanted to see the caution, and he got his wish. But hey, like I said, he might have an engine failure or something else, so Garrett Sinner hopes that does not happen at all. But anyway, let's take a look and see what happened coming off of turn 4, as we had a big crash that took out several drivers that were going to have a good finish. When I saw Cameron Garlington go to the high side and then other drivers were stuck right behind him, I had a feeling something bad was going to happen. and someone did. But right here, this all started here when I would say Riley Smith here. I don't know if Riley Smith was pushed to the high side by William Bedford or what, but he went to the high side. But then Eric Almahart also went to the high side right here. But then William Bedford and Riley Smith made contact right here into Club Crafton, and then Eric Almahart here, he takes a huge hit into the wall. But thank goodness there are safer barriers right there. And then right here it just collects right here. It looks to be maybe like 8 to 10 cars maybe, but Eric Almahart definitely by a mile gets the worst of it. So last week was in the lead, but but then a two truck tandem went wrong, and now all of a sudden what it looked like that he was gonna get maybe a redemption finish once again, another wild ride, and it's gonna take him. It's gonna get him a finish really far back in the field. But now let's go onboard some drivers. I'm sure when Bronek Hedgehog started on the pole, it was going to mean like I'm gonna have a good day, but got involved in the first crash on lap 3, I believe, and that just really just took him out of winning contention. And now this crash is just like the cherry on top of what could have been a good day, but then turned out to be just a bad day. Usually when I do more the onboard camera on the same driver is usually late in the season, and I do it on one of the championship contenders. But I think Kyle Kaminsky once again deserves another shout out for having a pretty amazing wreck avoidance. It doesn't look like Garrett Sinner is going to have any kind of mechanical problem whatsoever on this final lap. And I think what I do wonder about the most is like if those 2 lap cars, Cameron Garlington and Blaine Keys, are not there. I wonder how different the results might have been, because Mason Jefferson had a very strong car, but unfortunately the lap cars just really decided his fate. But coming out of turn 4, Garrett Sinner wins at Kansas. This is his second career SERL Domino's Pizza Truck Series win, and I believe, and he's also the past season's runner-up, and it looks like that he is looking to do even better. And I think what even better equals to is winning the championship. And I think that this win, I think, solidifies that this is a driver that I think we'll have to keep our eye out for pretty much the rest of the season, unless things just horribly fall apart, which that could happen as well. But anyway, here is the official standings. So a total of 23 cars finished on the lead lap, and here's everyone who DNF'd here. So I think that like Luke Walker, Connor Breeden, and Mason Jefferson, I think were were and I guess we also should add Matt Hotchkiss because he came in his race 6 in points. I think those 4 drivers took the biggest hits out of the top 10, and I think the winners, or the drivers that are going to make the biggest gains, are drivers like Garrett Sinor, who also had a pretty good day. That might actually be it, because when I think about it, a lot of these drivers have points. Oh, wait, never mind. Johnny Werf. Actually, Johnny Werf, I don't know if he's going to be the points leader, but he's going to, if he is the points leader, he might have the points lead by just a couple points, or he might just be a couple points behind Luke Walker by the time the points are tallied up, which should be in just a second. But anyway, I would like to thank everyone for watching this race, and I hope that you tune into the other SERL races at Kansas that will be uploaded later today. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and buy. And congrats to Garrett Sinor.